Hello everyone and welcome to this new video where we will see together the incredible legend of the White Lady of Pézenas. This legend begins in Pepsa in the Hérault. There are old rumors that one could see a white lady at the entrance of a bend on the outskirts of the village. In this region, everyone knows the existence of this character, and since the 60s. There are many testimonies that tell of having seen a white lady in this bend. Some legends say that on the nights of a full moon, a white-haired woman cried from the hitchhiker. This lady would also be dressed in a beautiful white dress, and she would always ride in the back of cars. After a while, she would start screaming and disappear all at once. Many people who have had this experience would even have had an accident after hitchhiking the white lady, but for some, there wouldn't be just one white lady. There might even be several. They would be spirits of tormented women who died in the area a long time ago. The most intriguing thing is that most people who have had this experience where they testify to seeing the white lady prefer to remain anonymous, and that's why this story is relegated to the status of legend even today. However, there are still a few small groups working in secret to try to find out the truth about this case. But for the moment, despite the various investigations that there would have been, no rational explanation is yet provided. The more time passes, the more testimonies will be collected that report having seen the white lady. And in December 1998, the case will take on such magnitude that even the gendarmerie will decide to make an investigation to define what can happen. And following this investigation, they will find disturbing elements. They will be able to determine that several years ago, a lady of the village would have died exactly in this bend. She lost control of her vehicle and would have ended up in the ditch at the exact spot where most people report seeing the white lady or hitchhiking her. But despite this investigation, no rational explanation will be given, and many will claim that it is the spirit of this woman who comes back to torment people or try to warn them that there is great danger at the end of the road or around this bend. Even today, many testimonies are collected every year, and many claim to have seen a strange silhouette or hitchhiked a white lady. So, simple collective hallucination or supernatural vision? If you ever take this road, I advise you to be very careful. There are many legends about the White Lady, but today we are going to look at the White Lady of Dead Mother. This White Lady is actually the ghost of a woman who actually existed a long time ago. It would be the ghost of Matilde del Emperest, granddaughter of William the Conqueror and daughter of Henry I. It is said that her ghost entered the Abbey of Mortemer and that it was there that she lived terrible times at the time. She was forced to marry at the age of 6, as was usually done. She would be forcibly married to an emperor, and that emperor died when she was only 20 years old. As a result of this, Matilda's father will be very angry and will lock her up in the Abbey of Mortemer for 5 long years. Then she will be forced to remarry by force, and she will give birth to Henry II, Plantagenarian, the King of England. Unhappy, she died in this abbey a few years later, and legends tell that her destiny, already out of the ordinary, will continue after her death. Some legends say that she was so unhappy that she imbued the place with an evil energy and would return to haunt the place after her death. She would return on the days of the full moon, and preferably the months of August, for those were the months when she experienced the worst atrocities. Some witnesses report that if you see her wearing white gloves, it is a sign of good omens. You could get married within the year or have a birth. On the other hand, if she wore black gloves, it would be a sign of a terrible omen. For several years, there have been many people who report having crossed or having seen a white lady near the Abbey of Mortemer. At some point, the story will take on so much momentum that the church will decide to send a priest to perform an exorcism in the abbey. But the results will not be very convincing because many people will continue to report having seen the white lady near the abbey stroll in the night of full moon. Some even report that this white lady would have strange powers and would be able to attract you to her and take you to another world. Many witnesses who walked around or near the lake, located only a few meters from the abbey, would have felt strange energies and would have felt accompanied. Some even report hearing breathing close to them. While no one was there, some researchers who have looked into these legends say that they could simply be illusions fed by the imagination and legends around this place, while others claim that they could be real ghostly presences. For a long time, there will be no evidence of the existence of this white lady, and it will remain a legend. But one day, a photographer claims to have managed to surprise the ghost of the White Lady of the Dead Sea. The images were reportedly taken by a journalist who had come in a group to visit the abbey, and it would be at the moment when he wanted to take a picture of the marble from the outside that this incredible picture would have been taken. At the time, he explains that the flash would simply not have worked, and that it would only be at the time he developed the photo that he would have discovered this strange shape. Following this photo, many newspapers will take up the case in the media. There are going to be many experts who are going to look at this image to try to see if it's a real photo or if it's a trick. Based on the studies they have carried out, they will be able to determine that the photo is not faked. But we can't explain the presence on this image, or even what could have triggered the phenomenon. Even today, some people who visit the abbey claim that they could be inhabited by a strange presence, and there are more and more recordings of this famous white lady. Nevertheless, with technological advances, It is difficult to tell if these recordings are authentic or if they are simply fake. In any case, for more than 8 centuries, the White Lady of Mortemer, between these stones loaded with history, and the ghost of Mathilde L'Emperesse would not have yet revealed all its secrets. It is in the north of England that we could find a castle that would be haunted by this famous brown lady. The ghost is believed to be the sister of the first British Prime Minister. This woman would have experienced terrible events in this castle and would return to haunt the place for many years. This story will remain a legend, but in 1986 a photographer will succeed in taking a picture that will question this whole story. As you can see in this picture, there is a strange shape. This photograph will be studied by many specialists, and thanks to their research, it will be considered authentic, but they can't really explain what's in that picture. This photograph would have been made by 2 photographers sent by a famous decoration magazine. Basically, they just came to take the famous hall of this castle, which was considered incredible. It would be during this photo session that one of them would have noticed several times a very strange silhouette. He would have claimed to his colleague on multiple occasions he had just seen a ghost. However, his colleague will remain very skeptical, and it is his colleague who will take several shots. Among these cliches, we will manage to find this very strange photograph. Inevitably, after this story, the image will be taken in many magazines, and many people fascinated by the paranormal will go to the scene. From that moment on, there will be many testimonies that will be collected and who claim to have seen a ghost with a kind of brown shroud who would walk the stairs of this castle. This cliché will still be studied by many other specialists, but none of them will be able to prove that it is a trick or a trick. Even if one is negative, there is no overexposure or any other element that could explain this appearance. Currently, we still have many people who go to the scene, and many of them claim to have seen this famous brown lady. Testimonies report that she is a beautiful young woman and that she would simply seek help. Today, on the internet, we can find many recordings of this so-called brown lady, but with technological advances, it is difficult to tell if it is not a trick or if it is not fakes. Regardless, this photograph will be considered for a long time as the most reliable photograph of ghosts that we do, and again, and again, and again today. No one has been able to prove that it was a trick or a hoax. The brown lady will therefore continue to fuel the mystery for a very long time. That's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Really feel free to tell me in the comments, and if you have other topics like that you want, I will do it in my next videos. If you're interested in limiting people, you can find plenty of episodes on my channel. In the meantime, do not hesitate to like, share, and subscribe, but we will see you in the next video. It was Kaikon Fire, peace out.